Hi, everyone. This is Mark Plunkett, the pastor of Heritage Presbyterian Church, with another of our weekly devotionals, this one focused on Psalm 112. First, let me tell you something that happened at church yesterday. We were talking about where are we going to go. Now, we had to sell our property that we had been on for more than 25 years. Had to sell it several years ago. Very hard, very heartbreaking, but we had to sell. So we moved to a rented location about 4 miles away. We looked at buying some land and starting over again. Well, that didn't work out either. We bought the land, but we couldn't build on it. Anyway, all kinds of things happened. Had to sell the land. So we have the money in the bank, and we have all this stuff. We're still in this great rented location. What do we do now? So during this meeting, the whole congregation's there, and we're talking about what we're going to do with each of the committees, what they're going to do, what they've done in the past. We get to the property committee, and I said, we're still looking for a place that we hope to have as our home. We're looking at other rented places. We're looking at land. We're looking at buildings. And then I said, but chances are good we're not going to find a small church that's empty and we're just going to move into it and take over. At least I don't think so. And all the way home, I started thinking about that. And it reminded me of a conversation I had with a man about a month ago. Now, this man is not doing very well. He's in bed. Can't get out of bed. He's receiving hospice care. He was weak, but his voice was certainly strong. Nothing wrong with his mind either. So we're talking, and he was telling me about something that happened when he was younger. His daughter was very, very sick. She was in the hospital. Looked like she was dying. The doctors came out. The whole family's there, and the doctors tell him, we've done everything we can. We don't expect her to make it through the night. Everybody starts crying, holding together, hanging on each other, like you would expect. Then all of a sudden this man said, wait a minute. Let's stop crying and let's worship instead. And everybody just kind of stared at him. He said, I knew what they were thinking. And he said, come on, everybody come together. Let's all come together. So he gathered everybody around. He said, we have done all we can. The doctors just told us they have done all they can. It's time for God to take over. So let's worship. So he said for about a half an hour, people still cried. But they also came together and they prayed and they sang and they praised God. And they basically said, God, do whatever it is you're going to do. And this man told me, he said, I kept getting the feeling that God was saying, I've got this. I've got this. You guys get out of the way. I've got this. Well, his daughter was still alive the next day and the day after that and the day after that. And she rallied. And she ended up getting out of the hospital and doing just fine and living for many, many, many more years. And this man was telling me about it. He said, sometimes we just need to get out of God's way. Well, when I said what I said to our church yesterday, that I don't think we're going to find an empty church that nobody wants, that we're just going to move into, maybe I was wrong. Maybe there is some kind of a building or a church or a place that we could rent, that we could just move into. Maybe there's a place out there that nobody even knows about yet. We don't know. But have we done everything that we can do? Well, we've certainly looked a lot. Looked at all kinds of different buildings, all kinds of different locations. But I'm starting to wonder. I'm starting to think maybe what I said yesterday was wrong. Just plain wrong. Maybe we just need to get out of the way and let God do it for us now. Maybe God is telling all of us in that church, including me, I've got this. I've got this. You know what it says in Psalm 12? Even in darkness, light dawns for the upright, for those who are gracious and compassionate and righteous. Good will come to those who are generous and lend freely, who conduct their affairs with justice. Surely the righteous will never be shaken. They will be remembered forever. Their hearts are secure. They will have no fear. And in the end, they will look in triumph on their foes. I wonder if God is telling us in this, I've got this. I've got this. Let's see. I'd love to be wrong. Amen.